Well, good morning. Good morning. Is it still morning? No, it's not morning anymore. It's a little after 1, and this is the 15th of May, and good to be with you again. So, some more fun drawing time, fun sketching time, rather. I thought I would take a moment to let you know that I have a little sketchbook for those of you who uh, would like to have some of my drawings, to actually own some of them. This is a sketchbook that I had put together quite a few years ago, and it's just a little collection of some of my drawings. Um, so if you're interested in purchasing a little book like this book is $11.95. Uh, it's listed at $11.95. However, um, I will sell this for $15, and I'll give you a drawing in the front of it. So there's a little place here in the front where I can do a little drawing and sign it if you're interested. I sell this at conventions when I'm at. I've been at the Long Beach Comic Con in the past, and believe I was selling these. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I sold these books at the Long Beach Comic Convention, but I haven't been in a convention in a while, and I am planning to start to go back again. But if you're interested in this, my sketchbook, it's $15. It'll be $15, just flat, not counting shipping. I don't know what the shipping would be, but if you're interested in a book like this, what I'll do is I'll put my email at the bottom of my description page. I don't have this set up to be shipped out through Amazon or anything like that. I may do that in the future. I'm not sure. But the way I would be doing it basically is if you're interested in the book, you email me, let me know you're interested. You can send me the $15 in a couple of different ways. You can either send me a check for $15, or make sure you put your address on that I can get, so that I'll be able to send you this book to you. If you let me know if you want a drawing, because for the $15 I will do a drawing in the book for you, whatever you like, and sign it. Um, Not that I'm some super famous guy, because I've been in the business for a long time. For those of you who don't know, I worked in the animation business for 44 years, 45 years, and I've been retired for the last 5 years. So, but if you're interested, I was a director at Warner Brothers. I worked at Disney, worked at DreamWorks. I worked at a lot of the studios, pretty much most of them. I worked with Richard Williams. I've worked with a lot of folks, a lot of really talented people. Anyway, if you're interested, $15 for the book. I'll do a drawing, sign it for you, and you just let me know if you're interested. I'll send it to you, and then eventually, I guess I'll figure out a way to do this where it'll be a little easier, because I do have quite a few books as supplies last. I don't know. I have sold a lot in the past, but I just realized that I may as well let you guys know, for there may be some of you who may actually would like one of these. So I'll put the information in the description, and you send me an email. Let me know you're interested. I'll ship it to you myself. Until I can figure out the proper way to do it, so that it's not in. If I start getting a lot of them, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'll also let you know that if I am going to be going to any conventions, I live in Los Angeles, so the conventions I would go to more than likely would be like Box Expo, or Long Beach Comic Con. Okay, all right, and it's just a fun book. It's just got a lot of fun drawings in it. Okay, so all right, there you go. All right, so let's see what we're gonna draw today. All right, let's see here. Don't know. Um, hmm. Yesterday I did a drawing of a guy flying through the air. That was kind of neat. So I don't know. Today I thought I'd try to do something a little different from what I usually do. Interesting. I do believe it would appear that we are going to get into monster territory here. Looks like. Yeah, could be. Yeah, looks like monster territory. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, let's see. So we got a kind of a dinosaur looking character here, I guess. His tongue lashing out past some teeth. Wow. It's kind of a scary looking guy here. Let's see. Let's see. Hmm. Hmm. I kind of wonder for folks who create really cool dragons and creatures and stuff. I always wonder where they, what's going on in your head when you create these kinds of creatures because I a lot of times when I do something like this, I don't. I tend to be thinking of something that I'd seen recently, and so it kind of pops into my head like, okay, yeah, this is. I remember seeing something like that, or there's always usually I tend to be influenced by something that maybe I just seen. So that's kind of where the image will come from sometimes, from something that I just saw, and I'll be remembering it. It's a good thing to exercise your ability to remember too. That's another thing is when you're drawing to be able to recall stuff that you've seen. Um, that's always a lot of fun. Let's see here. Hmm. Yeah, well, that's kind of fun. Wow. Let's see. Interesting. Boy, he's a fearsome looking guy, isn't he? Man, oh man. Yeah, he does not look like somebody you want to mess with. I don't want to get in this guy's way. No, sir. Let's see, is that hand out that way? Maybe. You'll notice that I keep one of the things that I was doing here was I was keeping my hand on the on the paper here on the surface. So on my draw, I try to keep my hand on the surface of the tablet so that as my pen as the pen kind of roves around, it's um, it's kind of settling on you know on the surface. And the reason that I bring this up is because as you draw, if you keep your pen, if you can keep your pen engaged with the surface of the tablet, what that does is it sort of forces your hand to rove around on the page, and you end up with a line. The line when you draw like that, it's kind of it's a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a lot more. Um, there's a looseness to it that you don't get on any other way. Um, yeah, it's that's a hard thing to describe exactly, but it's like certain techniques that you use when you draw will produce certain types of drawings or produce a texture in the drawing that you're making, and that obviously translates to a certain kind of drawing. It translates to how a drawing might look or how it turns out. You know, so it just becomes a discipline. It's a very specific discipline. So I guess you want to use disciplines to give you a certain feel to the drawing that you're making, and that can then influence how the drawing turns out. You might get a drawing that's got a lot more of a free flowing quality to it, or you might get a drawing that's got a more disciplined line. Yeah. So I guess it just once again it depends on what it is you're trying to do. But yeah, the keeping your stylus on the page as you make the line is going to give you a certain kind of line. I find too that as I'm cleaning up, then I start picking the lines I'm going to save, the ones I'm going to use, and that's fun because a lot of times then the lines that I find myself using, I can be a lot more demonstrative um, in my cleanup. So I'm really accenting, say, a line that I'm picking to keep. I can be a lot more. I can put a lot more, what's the word, emphasis on the lines I'm keeping. Because now, I'm finding, oh yeah, well, let's see if I'm gonna keep that, then I got to do, yeah, I start being aware that okay, well, if I'm going to keep this, then I need to make this stronger or bigger or whatever. You know, I was a cleanup assistant at Disney for most of the time I was there. Actually, um, I did get to animate occasionally, but primarily I was a breakdown assistant. So I did a lot of in betweens. I did a lot of cleanup work, and I think I was kind of kept in that area because I guess I was pretty good at it. So the time that I worked at Disney, the Disney feature department, if they could find people who were good cleanup artists, a lot of times you'd get stuck, because it's not a job that everybody wants to do. But I sort of had an affinity for it. I didn't really mind it so much. I certainly wanted to animate, and I did get to animate. But when I went to work for the company at the time, the way that they operated was that if you did good cleanup work, a lot of they would pretty much try to keep you in that area just because it's an area where they need people to do that kind of work. They want it because the cleanup artists' drawings actually are the ones that you actually see on the screen. You don't really see the animators' drawings. You see the cleanup artist drawing. I think one of the reasons why the old animators liked working on Jungle Book was so much was because you did actually see the animators drawing. I mean, the way that they did their cleanup on, say, films like Jungle Book or um, maybe not as much on. Well, I guess they did it on Jungle Book. Yeah, they did do it on Jungle Book, but Robin Hood, things like that. They would basically rub down the animator's drawing, his rough drawing, and use that as a cleanup. Films like The Rescuers, that was how they did that. So it basically saved the time of, say, tracing it. Because normally, as a cleanup artist, you go over the animator's drawing and you do a cleanup of the animator's line, and then they would either ink it or they Xerox that, depending on how clean they wanted the drawing to be. So if you were uh, if you're a lot of the animators drawings a lot of times would be very rough. So it wasn't necessarily the easiest thing to just have to just say, oh, we'll just rub down somebody's drawing and go over it. Some of the old animators, you could do that because their drawing, the rough drawing, was so solid that I guess it was in somebody like Milt Kahl, for instance, whose drawing was pretty much pretty impeccable. You could do that with him, but then of course you also had to be a pretty darn good cleanup person, or because obviously you got to have somebody who's really amazing to do the cleanup drawing over a Milt Kahl drawing. Like, well, you got to be kind of careful with his stuff. Let's see. What do we want to do? Make this guy green, maybe? Yeah, let's see. Try to make him green, maybe. Yeah, so let's see. What do we get here if we go? Yeah, so, yep. Oh, what did I do? Did I get that wrong? Oh, I know what's wrong. Got it. You've got to connect the dots. You can't, if you got an open in there, it will not fill. So, yeah, that's why it wasn't filling. Now it should fill. So let's see. Let's see what we get here. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. So got that and that. All right, and the hands. Yeah. Okay, and then probably let's go in. We'll get here and there. Okay, we'll back up. All right, let's see, maybe a dark green in here, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, maybe a green tongue. What do you think? Green tongue, yeah. Green tongue. Maybe dark green down in here. Let's see. Maybe kind of a sort of a grayish color in here. Yeah. There we go. And maybe the eyes, how about yellow? Or maybe like a really light green, like this. Yeah. Oh, that's kind of cool. And then we'll make the teeth maybe like a yellow, or maybe even an orange. Maybe like a light orange like this. Yeah. Or maybe a couple of colors, like we can do this. Well, they probably should all be the same color. Yeah, let's bring them up. So we got that. There we go. Yeah. There's a gruesome looking guy, huh? Let's see. So there. We'll turn off the backlight. Let's see. How about... Well, this will be real stark. Kind of might be a little bit too harsh on the eyes. Let's try. We'll try a red background, but I don't know if that's going to be too much. Let's see what happens. Wow, boy, that really jumps out at you. Ooh, wow. Yeah, wow, that really jumps out. Yowza. Kind of like that. Interesting. You never know what you're going to get, huh? All right, well, there you go. All right, well, hey. Well, we'll stop there. Let's see. So, another fun time. Hope you enjoyed that. Just fun drawing and stuff. I will see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day. And remember, Jesus is Lord.